The president should be the balance between contending parties, must be responsible, and also must be the disinterested fashion for the maintenance of both order and justice. Alongside having specific roles for the president to accomplish, the president must also have certain personality traits. The president must be confident and decisive. Also, he must be the country's figurehead and must be smart. He should know which information to tell the country and what information to remain private. The President also has 6 duties: Chief of State, Chief Executive, Commander-in-Chief, Chief Diplomat, and legislative leader and the leader of his own political party. While being the Chief of State, the President is known as the symbolic leader of the United States. According to the Constitution, the President is the Chief Executive and runs the government. The President is in charge of appointing officials and receives pardons and issues executive orders. While having all of these duties to fulfill as his job, he has his cabinet of 13 to help him make sure all of these tasks are completed. While being the commander-in-chief, the president is in charge of the military forces. He is responsible for training, supervising, and deploying the armed forces. Also, the president is able to review troops and to award service medals to those of worthy. He meets with military officials along with civilian national security advisors. While being the chief diplomat, the president is a leader, initiator, and guide for foreign policy. He meets with foreign countries and makes decisions affecting our country's foreign affairs. One duty of his is to appoint the representative for the United States to go to the United Nations. Another duty of the president is to negotiate treaties with other countries. Every year in January, the president gives his State of the Union address to Congress. Included in his speech is his evaluation of the country's domestic and foreign position and goals that the president wants to accomplish next year. After a bill is passed through both houses in Congress, the bill is only a law after the president signs it. Along with having all the other roles that the president has, he is still the leader of his own political party. His party allows him to be informed on what the nation wants. While being the political party leader, he has to campaign and endorse other members of his party running for office quite frequently.
The Founding Fathers never intended to create political parties. They believed that political parties would create dissension in the government, and they turned out to be right. Originally, there were 5 party systems that arose out of V.O. Key's idea of critical elections, or political realignment. The first party included Federalists and Democratic Republicans. It exemplified the Revolution of 1800, where the number of voters greatly increased, which collapsed with this party in the 1820s. The Jacksonian group included 2 parties, the Whigs and the Democrats. The third group consisted of Democrats and Republicans, and in the fourth group, there was mostly Republican dominance. The fifth group was the model that helped Key design a system of critical elections, and it consisted of Republicans and Democrats, much like the third group. However, the major difference is this group differed because now the Republicans and Democrats started appealing to the voters not based on ethnicity or religion, but rather by socioeconomic classes. Currently, American political parties have a 3-part character, which includes the party organization, the party in the government, and the party in the electorate. American parties still remain mainly 2 in number. Control of nominations for president has shifted over time from party organization to party and government. Republicans and Democrats are the 2 main political parties, and in total they mostly control the presidency, Congress, governorships, and the state legislatures. The reason there are these 2 main political parties is because of the single membership system in the Electoral College. The single membership system aims to create political parties that spread all over the country, giving third-party candidates major disadvantages. The Electoral College uses the absolute majority requirement to make sure third parties have a very little chance of winning. Political parties only seek to be represented in government and don't end up helping the country. Overall, the founders were absolutely correct to not want political parties.
The Electoral College is not a college where you go to classes and learn. It's a group of electors who represent a state as a whole when it comes time to elect a new president. When a president is elected, it is based off of electoral votes, not popular. So, for example, if majority of people that voted for, let's say, Bush, were from smaller states, but he also got majority of the population's votes, he could still not win because he may not have gotten majority of the electoral votes, because small states have less electoral votes than larger states. The amount of electoral votes a state has is based off of their population. So the smaller a state is, the smaller their population is, which means they have a fewer amount of electoral votes. When a state is larger, like California or Texas, they have a larger population, which means they have a larger amount of electoral votes than the smaller states. Electoral votes are how many electors represent that state as a whole. Nebraska and Maine are the only two states where the winner does not take all system. There's only one place in the whole entire world, not only the world, but the whole entire universe, that people are not allowed to vote. Because obviously if you live in the United States, you're allowed to vote. And if you live in another country, but you're an American citizen, you are still allowed to send in, mail in your vote. And when you're an astronaut in outer space, you are still allowed to vote for the new elected president. But if you live in a territory, and even if you live there and you're an American citizen, you still cannot vote. Territories are the only place in the whole entire universe that American citizens are not allowed to vote for who they want to be elected for president.